One man pretended to be Julian Lennon, and this is my encounter. I received a message from someone whose profile picture and name was that of Julian Lennon, the son of the famous Beatle John Lennon. He messaged me telling me it was his official backup profile and asked how I was doing. I did tell him, and he told me, quote, "am fine," and asked if I was a fan. I told him I loved his father, and he replied to me saying, "Wow, thanks." And he asked me what made me love his father, and I told him his music, and asked him how old his father is now. Now, keep in mind, I knew this was a scammer and not the real Julian Lennon, but I was curious to see what he would say. He told me he's a good man, and I told him that I wish his father would play more music. He hasn't played anything new lately, and I would attend all his concerts, and I'd be willing to buy VIP tickets to his show. Julian replied, saying, "But this is no more," and put a bunch of crying emojis. He said he died at 40 and now he should be 84 if he was alive, and how he had a difficult relationship with his father. Clearly, this scammer was able to search the person he was pretending to be and his father's legacy. Julian asked if I went to his concerts and if I thought he was a good singer like his dad. And I told him I'd never heard of him. Julian asked if I was serious and tell him more about myself. Well, I told him I own a business and I'm married with two grown kids. This piqued his attention and he said, "Wow, you busy or business owner?" I told him I'm a busy business owner. Julian asked me to make time for our conversations, and I told him I'm not working with my company today, and he asked if it's because it's the weekend. I told him the government is putting a lot of regulations on the future of gift cards, and I was considering selling my gift card company. This really caught his attention, and he asked me if I was to start selling gift cards and asked what time I go to work Monday when I get home, and I just told him I'm thinking of selling the gift card company I own. Julian asked if it had been discussed with my husband, and we can talk here all the time. He was very interested in me selling my company and what I will do next, especially with all those gift cards. I told him there's new regulations to stop people from sending gift card codes, and I don't know what I will do with all the mistake gift cards. I told him I had some employees that forgot to set the right numbers and controls on the machine, and a $25 gift card was accidentally loaded with $500. I told him I gave those all away to charity. Julian told me that was a big loss and wanted to know my plan for my next company. I told him my son wants to start something with Foot Locker. Julian was very interested that my son had a company and started comparing himself to my son as a successful, hard-working man. He started asking me the age of my son, my husband, how many kids I had. I inquired why he was asking so many nosy questions, and he told me I don't have to answer. I asked him if he ever talks to Paul McCartney, and he said he had a plan on seeing him, but his schedule changed. I told him I've met Paul twice at all his concerts. Julian asked if I bought his tickets, and he was amazed I had seen Paul in concert, but didn't listen to the music. I got tired of him and asked him if he was in Africa, and that my antivirus software picked up his location as being somewhere in Africa. He told me I must be picking the wrong location. I told him no, and I checked my tablet and it also says you're in Africa. I thought maybe you were on tour, Julian. He stopped talking to me and blocked me quickly. Story 2. I met online with who I thought was DJ Calvin Harris in the spring of 2023. I follow a ton of DJs as beach house, electronic music, EDM. It's my thing. I received a message from this person pretending to be Calvin. He thanked me for my comment on his photo. It was a photo posted on Instagram from one of their winter shows that he did in Sweden, and I am from Germany. The profile name was the same as the IG I follow, but I did not take note that there was a slight difference in the lettering at first that this person had used. He told me he really loved my profile picture and went through my Insta and loved all my photos, even commenting on one photo of me skiing. You see, I love to ski and often travel to different locations to take part in downhill competition. He asked me how long I have been a fan, and I told him for many years. And I've listened to his music for a very long time, maybe since 2005. He asked if I had been to any of his shows, and I told him yes, and I go every year to the Time Warp Festival here in Germany. He thanked me for being such a fan of his and asked me things like my favorite song, which I cannot pick a favorite or a favorite collaboration as I enjoy all of them. He asked me if we could talk from time to time on here, and of course I was thrilled. It was a couple of days later before he messaged me again. I really wanted to message him, but I thought he's a very busy man touring and I don't want to be bothersome to him. He asked what I had been doing and then asked for my personal information. If I was single, did I have kids, where did I work? I let him know that I am single. I had broken up with my boyfriend as he had cheated on me 8 months ago, and I worked in an office for an advertising firm, but I ski and winter sports are my passion. He started sending me what I thought were private photos of him on tour, and every time Calvin played a show, he would tell me where he is and send me photos. And these photos were not the same as on the Instagram profile, so I felt like I was special to him receiving these candid photos that maybe no one else had seen. We would talk often, and he told me that his manager doesn't allow him to talk on the phone to fans or give his personal phone number, but he asked me if we could exchange numbers to possibly call me sometime. I gave him my number, but he never did give me his, and he never did call me. But I told him I did understand policy and rules, and if he was unable to call, it was fine to just talk on Messenger. We began this online friendship. He would message me daily. I would respond during my working hours and sometimes in the evening. He would always send pictures and ask me if I would be going to his festival called Superbloom in Munich, where he would be a guest DJ. And I told Calvin I would love to go, but the tickets are hard to obtain and they're very expensive. It was too much for me because I had gone to other festivals as well as my skiing takes up a lot of my spare income. He told me that I could go as his special guest and he will have a ticket for me as a VIP and that he would have his agent message soon. Well, I felt so special and excited as the festival was near and I could not afford a ticket. Calvin told me he was having feelings for me and wanted to show me how special I was to him by having me accept this ticket to the festival as his special guest. I thanked him many times, and it was a few hours later when I received a message from someone on Instagram who said they were Gillespie Management, and he said Calvin asked to message me about the ticket to the festival. I was so thankful and excited. Gillespie told me that he would need my full name, address, phone number, and email address so I may reserve the ticket. I gave him this information and he said he would be in touch. It was maybe a day later I received an email from Gillespie Ticket Sales, and the email had my name, address, and information listed along with a QR code, which he stated was acceptance to the festival to get the ticket, but I would have to purchase an online iTunes card in the amount of €100 to cover the ticket tax, which was not part of the festival ticket. The ticket to the festival was free, but the tax was €100. This confused me at times because I could buy a 1 day pass to the festival for around €130 for a basic package. I inquired to the person who emailed me why there was a tax, as there's no such tax when I want to buy the ticket package myself online. The person emailed me back to explain that the tax is to cover international fees and the $100 price is for the VIP ticket, not a regular ticket, which on the website to buy a VIP ticket would be more than €500. I decided to message Calvin directly again and asked him about the charge. His response was that he couldn't wait to see me and wanted to ask me if we could start dating as he wants to be with me. The typing, however, was very different from the first few times I had chatted to Calvin. It did not seem right and the words were all misspelled. He then started typing to me in my native language in German, but it was as if a translator was used. as it was not correct and the phrases were wrong. I told Calvin I appreciate his efforts in speaking German, but please type in English. And I appreciate him leaving me a ticket. I can bring the gift card to the concert and pay it then. And he told me I would need to talk to his agent as he was unaware of how it all works. I found this quite strange as the real Calvin Harris is always typing his posts correctly on his page, and in my heart I felt it was all strange. I emailed the agent and asked them if I can bring the gift card to the concert and pay the fee upon picking my ticket up. The agent told me no, that is not possible, and in order for me to pick up the ticket for it to be printed, I would need to pay the card fee first. When I started to question things and challenge him, saying I would contact the venue for the information, they stopped emailing me. I messaged Calvin and told him I've talked to the venue and the ticket sales office, and they do not ask for gift cards as a tax payment. Even on VIP packages, there's simply no such thing. Calvin told me that I ruined his career by questioning his agent and claiming they are not genuine, and how dare I refuse his gift and how insulting I was to him. I told Calvin that I'm not refusing his ticket, but I am refusing to buy a gift card to pay a tax on a ticket. This is when the Calvin imposter wrote to me in German, of course using a translator, but using vile and disturbing words. However, it was simply copy and pasted from translation as it did not feature the correct words or spelling and correct phrases. German's a hard language for most. I told this Calvin imposter that his German is that of a small child and he was not a very good person. He then blocked me. I did take note there were other imposter Calvins on the real Calvin's profile, replying to comments on his photos saying they've won prizes. I did message the real Calvin Harris page directly about the imposter, but received no reply. My emails are now filled with people telling me stories of promises of love and offers for concert tickets to other festivals. I know they're all imposters. Thank you and greetings from Germany. We'd like to thank these two people for sharing their stories. With regards to the fake Calvin Harris, a lot of scammers will follow the real artists on their Instagram and social media pages, and then they'll create a fake profile that looks very similar and start messaging fans. Keep in mind that real famous DJs, people that tour, that do EDM music, most of them, if not all of them, have verified pages where if you tap on the blue check mark, a little box will come up and tell you that it is a verified page. Always check that little blue check mark, tap on it with your phone or with your cursor on your mouse on your computer, and a little box should come up that says verified profile. And keep in mind, someone as famous as this DJ is going to have hundreds of thousands, if not a million followers. And he's not going to be messaging you wanting to fall in love, but not be able to talk to you on the phone or video chat. And keep in mind, real celebrities really don't message fans and offer them things for gift cards. If you'd like to share your encounter you had with someone famous and you found out it was a scammer, you can find us scamming@gmail.com. You can message there and just send any screenshots or any information you have. And we have a lot of people that come to my inbox on the email that English is their second language. Please don't be afraid to come to us. We're always happy to translate and try and work with you. This last story that I just shared, German was her native language and she did speak English, but she had some hard times with translating things and writing things. So we did help her out with her story. And we do appreciate anyone from all over the world to share your stories. Until next time, stay safe.